So we've got some of the different levels of cameras that you're going to see. Of course, everybody's seen a cell phone probably. I think we're at that time. This is what has replaced the DSLR. This is now what we would consider a mirrorless camera. Basically, the old DSLRs, which like your Canon Rebels, would have like a mirror in front of it. And so light would go through the shutter, it would hit that mirror and bounce off and reflect into the sensor. This, well, I can't really open it up to show you because I have a speed booster on it. Speed booster basically takes a micro four thirds sensor, which a lot of mirrorless are. There's a lot of full frames out there now, but it takes it and puts it to what a CMOS sensor is, and a CMOS sensor is like, the smallest would be a micro four thirds, then you've got a CMOS sensor, then you've got a full frame sensor. I was going with that, but this is kind of to me, this was what I started off in documentaries when I really started heavily into documentaries. My first one actually was a HG-5. And then they took this, expanded on it, they gave you a 10-bit codec, which is another thing that I'm always harping on, is that a better codec gives you more colors, gives you more flexibility in post to fix your mistakes. Yeah, and it's just an all-around camera, good camera. I've got an external microphone to this, just to give you a little bit more than the onboard microphone, just because the onboard mics are usually not good. They're just not great, you know what I mean? I think these are super important to documentary filmmaking. One is because of the size. Sometimes you can't even get into locations. And it's just, you can just kind of be fly on the wall. You can kind of hold it here or hold it here. And then people aren't also so afraid of a small camera like this. You know, it's like, oh, it's like, you know, kind of a, it's just not very intimidating looking camera. Less invasive, less intrusive, and you're just a lot faster. This has got in-body stabilization, which means it basically is like basically on strings, kind of like rubber bands, and the sensor kind of floats in there. So if you're moving around like this, it kind of floats with it, and it's a great overall. I mean, if I didn't upgrade, I would still be using this for a lot of the documentaries. I was able to buy something that fits my needs a little bit more. This one's very budget friendly, especially now. I mean, I've got mine kind of kitted out with the speed booster and the lens. The speed booster is quite expensive, but you can go straight into a micro four third lens, which means you just have to buy a lens. But then again, by doing the speed booster, I was able to get a little extra light out of it. I was able to get a little shallower depth of field. And it just gave me a more pleasing image in general, but that's something that you don't need. They make great micro four thirds lenses, especially now. Micro four thirds kind of took over for a long time, and you're still kind of reaping the benefits of a camera like this. They're great starter cameras, I think. Yeah, and they do basically everything you need. These also, I mean, shot hundreds of weddings on something like that.